Hi, I'm Kelly Parks of Comwater's Cloud Accounting Resources. And today I want to talk about using Chrome to create efficiency magic in our work, and especially when we are working in QuickBooks Online. So one of the nice things about using your Chrome browser properly is that if you set up separate people or identities, you can segregate the type of work you do, and you cannot overwhelm your browser with bookmarks and folders. We're going to get to bookmarks and folders in a minute. But for now, let's talk about identities. You can create different versions of how you work. So this one, for example, is my productivity one. This is where my email lives, where my content apps live, all that kind of stuff. I've set up for my husband's business so that he can open up the things he needs, whether it's Google, he has some work he does on his website, his CRM, all that kind of stuff. I have an accounting one. I have one where I work on my websites. And of course, I have the time waster. The nice thing about doing this is I actually have one that I share with Marissa, my team member, so that she can work efficiently and she's got all of the things she needs. But you can, if you create an identity and you sync it to a fake-ish Google account, you can then share it with other people, like your team members, and you can use it on any device across all of your devices, especially if you lose a device and you've set up your Chrome browser the way you want it. If you sync it to a fake Google account, so all you have to do is set up a Google account that you never use. Just remember the name and password, which you're going to put in one password anyways, right? So sync it across all of your devices, or sync it with Google, a fake Google account, and then you can share it with team members, use it across devices. But you can also create it so that it's a template. And I have a template that I use that I give to clients. When I onboard a new client, even if I'm just doing project work with them, I teach them how to use a QuickBooks browser so that they are super efficient and they like working in QuickBooks much more. Okay, so we create these fake-ish Google identities, and then we need to set up some settings in them. We go to the settings, and in here, we go to settings. And one of the things that I really stress, so this is turn on sync, where I would have created it with my Google account. But one of the things that's really important is do not search for anything or scroll. Do not scroll for anything when you are in the settings in your Chrome browser. Do a search for it and everything will come up for you. And so clear browsing data is one of those things that's fun to set up in your browser. So you would go to here, you would set the range to all times, and then you would create a bookmark. So you simply create a bookmark of that, call it cache. I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it. You create one, and then it looks like this. It's a one click to do clear your cache. So let's try that again. Go into cache and literally click cache, click clear data. You're done for the day. You log out of everything and you have cleared all the cache. That is the information that can start to overwhelm your browser and make our apps misbehave. Super simple to do. While I'm on the topic of searching settings, I want to show searching settings in QuickBooks as well. So I know I'm deviating a little from the topic at hand, but we're on search, so I'm close enough, right? Use your search bar in QuickBooks for everything as well. You can search for everything, whether it's profit and loss reports, whether it's legal and professional fees. Let's see, Mahoney, do we have something? Mahoney, whether you want to get into a vendor, whether you want to check on transactions, whether you want to do it. Don't hit enter, though. As soon as you hit enter, it then takes you to a deeper search. But you can search for transactions based on amount. Don't scroll and peck out and go to places to look for all kinds of things in QuickBooks Online either. Okay, anyways, that was slightly off topic, but kind of fun. So we have set up our cache. We have set up what we want for security. We've done all of these things, but now we want to put in some extensions. So extensions are little fun bits of business that help you with tasks. They action things while you are working in applications. One of them would be Loom. I use Loom. This is a demo account, so I don't have my ones on here, but I use Grammarly. I use Awesome Screenshot. I use Loom, and I use 1Password. Those are my standard Chrome extensions. They do a lot of the heavy lifting for me, and they do it right within your applications. Be careful of using too many extensions, though. They can start to interfere with each other, and they can start to interfere with your cloud-based programs. So a little tip here, if you're having trouble with an app and no amount of clearing cache and troubleshooting with support can fix it, delete all your extensions and reinstall them one at a time to help you find the gremlin that's causing the trouble with your apps. Very often, if you can't sort a problem out with an app and you've tried like the dickens, then the thing to do is to get rid of those extensions and start over. For extensions, you go to the Chrome Web Store, and in the Chrome Web Store, you would search for them. So let's put in 1Password. And what it will do the very first time that you go to add it, it will check to see if it is going to cause any trouble with other extensions. And I know I just said that extensions can cause trouble. So in the beginning, it makes sure that it's not got a conflict with any other extensions. But as programs update themselves, that's where you may start to have some trouble if you have too many extensions on the go. Okay, so 1Password. And then another fun thing that I like to do is add a theme so that I can recognize which one I'm working in, because I have a number of different Chrome identities. I like a quick visual on which ones I'm working in if I have a number of them open. And you can search the store for all kinds of things. You can search for colors. You can search for puppies. And then you can just add that background. Oh, look at that. That's adorable. Okay, so that's extensions and that is themes. We also gain terrific efficiency out of using bookmarks. So I use bookmarks for all kinds of things. It is super helpful in the programs where the navigation may not suit you particularly well. And it is super helpful if you are in QuickBooks Online and you are in a transaction, you are literally stuck. You have to back out of that transaction or right click and duplicate a tab and then back out of a second one. There's all kinds of gymnastics to get back to the native navigation in QuickBooks Online. Instead, if you're in an expense, but what you really want to do is go to reports, you can click directly into reports. You can use this for all kinds of things. So I have, this one's a fun one. This is finding your reconciliation history and your reconciliation reports. It's a one click to get into there. I also love to get into a journal entry this way. This is the stuff that we do as accounting professionals, and I find it really nice to have these in here. Close, because we need to close those books so that nobody mucks with our perfect past history. Again, this is a demo account. That's why it's not showing anything closed in here. I also use it for deep linking. So for example, when I want to get into a client in my CRM, Financial Sense, I can actually click directly into a client. I can connect into templates. I know I could use the navigation here, but I find it very simple to go directly to things that I want to do. Okay, so back to, also, if I want into my cloud fintech right here, I can get into them in one click as well. These are the apps I use all the time. Oh, that's one of the nice things about settings as well. When you go into settings, one of the things that you can do is set up, so I'm going to get rid of something so that I have the things that I want. When you are in settings, you can set up your startup pages so that when you open a browser, these will use the current pages. These are the pages that will open automatically for you. You don't have to open them one at a time. It's good to have 3 or 4 that open so that they're all sitting there waiting for you to work. Don't open too many at once. Don't set too many startup pages. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose because it takes a long time. The more you add, the longer time it takes to open each of those. So just open 3 or 4. That seems to be the efficiency setting on opening the startup pages for you automatically. Okay, let's head back over to QuickBooks. So I showed you how to use bookmarks to get to the things that you use most often. And then I set up folders for things so that they make sense on how we do them. So there is the bank feed setup, and I've got a number of bank feeds. I work in bank feeds in tandem so that I can see inter-account transactions. Also things like PayPal, it went through a phase where it was showing deposits as expenses. If you had accepted them in PayPal and then accepted them in the bank feed, they would have been somewhat backwards. They wouldn't have matched properly. So I like to have all of my bank feeds open at once. I like to have undeposited funds open so that I can make sure there's no trouble brewing in there when I'm working in the bank feeds, and AP and AR to make sure that there's nothing run amok in those. But I don't want to open them all at once. So instead, I right click on them, open all 6 in a new window. Takes a minute, but a lot less time than opening them one at a time. So there's my AR report, just to double check that nothing's gone haywire in there before I work in the bank feed. My AP to make sure that there's nothing in here that is a duplicate. It came in as a bill, but possibly it also got entered as an expense and it's not matching. Then undeposited funds. And then here we are in our various bank accounts so that we can double check where the matches are, where the mismatches may be, and what's going on with those all at once. And this is kind of magic. As soon as you're done working in those, you can one click to close out of them all. Okay, so here we are back in QuickBooks Online, the main screen. One of the things I do that's a little crazy is I also have it set up to do my reconciliations so that I am only clicking through to the right accounts. So this gets a little in the weeds of if you want to do it for each client or if you just want to open 4 or 5 reconciliation screens. I have one client who has 12 reconciliations though. So I do have a bookmark for her. I've captured using the bookmark right here, her various accounts. I can right click and open up all those reconciliations at once. It's pretty magic. So we've got the checking, we've got the savings, we've got the Visa, and we've got the MasterCard. Again, if you don't want to get into the weeds of creating one of these for each of your clients, you can do it so that you just open up 4 reconciliation screens at once. Again, you work your way through your reconciliations in tandem. I, again, make sure that I've got all of my reconciliations going at once, make sure that everything makes sense with intercompany transactions. And then when I am done reconciling and I've hit finish, I don't have to close out each tab separately. I can just close the whole dang thing at once. Where this also works well is in reports. So I have set up, let's take a look at them. I've set up the reports that we look at most often. And then I can also open those all in a new window. So we're going to leave those doing their jig and a jog for a minute. You can take it next level and create a whole series of custom reports of the things that you want to look at. So maybe you want to look at previous month. You open the reports and then you bookmark them and then you put them into folders so that you can right click and open up all the reports at once. Let's go back to this one that was chugging away for us where we got too many things on the go, Kelly. So here we are. So there is previous month accounts payable, previous month comparative. I guess it's not running the comparative properly because it's a demo account. So we've got the comparative. It should have opened. Oh, that is why there isn't any data. Previous month balance sheet, previous month sales. So you get the idea on the magic of setting up your Chrome browser for efficiency. And I hope this video was helpful for you. Thanks.